Dichroic glass man. In the previous video, we're going to call that panel 1A. This is panel 1B. You notice there's no zinc at this end. That's because this end plugs into the panel in the previous video, so that it makes up a unit 10 foot 1 inches long. I love these panels. Done in rainbow colors, accentuated with clear textures and dichroic glass elements, like this dichroic jewel that I laminate. There's dichroic in that piece right there at the tip. That's hammered. So I'm going to do the before and after. This is dichroic with light coming through it. I made a frame, sitting it in this frame just for purposes so I can obviously take pictures, and secondly so that I can show the owners that I'm shipping. I have to make a crate and ship these out of state, so I can show the owners the proper placement. Panel A and panel B. Isn't video grand? Video and pictures, they're incredible. Well, anyway, I thought people might get a kick out of seeing a dichroic panel slash abstract slash blah blah blah. Anyway, you might be able to utilize some of these abstract elements perhaps in your panels. Who knows? I'm sharing this design. I make them up. I make them up mostly as I go. And panels are what I feel. I feel this internal going on, these gears and this geometry and symmetry and free flow, and I call it lava flow when they do these. I see these things, these elements in my mind, and I portray them in my glass works. People ask, where do you get your ideas from? Well, the ideas I'm now utilizing are in my mind. I'm not interested in doing hummingbirds and ducks on ponds per se anymore. I'm going within. It's a spiritual journey. I think some people can relate. It's a transformation that a lot of people are going through, a new renaissance, if you will, of seeing things differently. I have synesthesia. I've said that in many of my videos. I'm almost 100% colorblind. But yet with synesthesia, it's an intuitive value where I hear my colors and I see sound. Yeah, it's kind of airy-fairy, I know. It's kind of cheesy. But it's an intuitive value that I do not consider cheesy. It's part of my default sensory. I love it, and it gets me incredible results. And basically, that's all I'm after, is the results. The proof of what I see and hear is in this panel and in all the glass that I now do. I've kind of redefined myself and pretty much only do spiritual art. I've sold a lot of my glass, and I'm going to continue to sell more glass. If somebody lives in the California area, I'm going to sell some of my stained glass because I'm looking at primary colors, like in this panel. Anyway, that's kind of a side issue. So you can see the dichroic. I'll get up close in some of them, because we're sitting on the inside. As you move around, you can see the color shifts and change. This is a faceted jewel that I make and sell on my website. This is a magenta bevel, 2-inch bevel circle. I left this one clear for reasons, just for contrast. This one's blue gold bevel, 2-inch bevel, and there's an 1.5 inch bevel. Here's an 1.5 inch bevel. There's another circle, and there's some architectural glass, 2 pieces of architectural glass. One of them is flute. You can see this is clear flute, and then you can see the red silver flute. I have those made. Every texture that you've seen in stained glass, I've had it coated with dichroic glass. CBS does all my coatings. This is figure C. This is cross reed, or squares. Some people call it squares. Thin reed. Thin reed. Spectrum ice. Matrix. Flute. Let's go around the backside. We'll see what the dichro stands out. Yep, you can see it. You can see all the little metallic pieces looking of glass is the dichroic components. So you don't have to use a lot of dichro to get the effect. As you can see how I placed them. Didn't really intentionally do that. It's pretty cool. I have to pat myself on the shoulder. You can see how I sparingly, it's almost balanced, where there's a distance seemingly apart. Didn't really realize that when I was doing it. Didn't set out to do that. Look how that dude is just glowing. Over here, it's really incredible. It's like the color of the sun. On a sunset. It's really deep copper. Well, again, you can see the dichroic stand out. I've actually had people tell me they've seen their front doors. I've done dichroic front doors, and they said they could see their door coming up the lane 1/4 of a mile away. Couldn't see the rest of the glass, because as you can see here, the farther I get back, the darker it's going to get. It's going to look almost black if you're standing back 100 feet. But the dichro stands out because it looks metallic. It's almost like it's illuminating itself in some way. I know it's not, but it's glass that almost has a mind of its own. Anybody who's worked with dichro can tell you that it's amazing. At least, at a minimum, it's an amazing glass. So I'm really pleased the way these came out. This is panel 1B. And it's going to be spectacular to see panel 1B and 1A put together in one length. This is only 5 foot. I made this little frame, put it underneath the door here so I can at least take pictures. But if I were to back up, this panel here would be all the way from here to here, including that space in the middle. This whole area here is how big. This unit is B, it belongs over here, and then the previous video would be A. So it's a pretty good sized panel. Got to break them up. It's too big a panel to be handling, not to break. So I split them at random points, not necessarily in half, could be 1 inch over the exact point, or it could be 2 inches, it doesn't matter, it's an abstract. And the design continues. So this flute is going to line up exactly with the flute piece on the other side, and it abstracts out. These squares are going to line up exactly with the other side. So that's how I did that. No matter where I drew the pattern up first, well, I shouldn't say that I drew the pattern up first, because a lot of it I did it as I went. But with the intention that when I reached a certain point, I just drew a line, made sure I drew enough pattern so that I drew the line through the pattern that I had enough to start the next panel. That's the thing about abstracts. Abstracts are, people think that they're real easy. They're just abstract pieces of glass slapped together, and it can look that way. Maybe you're gifted in doing that. For me, these are all intuitive feelings, processing, the way my mind thinks in an abstract, mathematical values, coupled with the unpredictable, the unknown, flow, trying to contain it in a perhaps in the box area. Let's see, line my finger up here. Yeah, perhaps in the box area, things are starting to fill up. I don't know. You could see all different kinds of things. That's what I think is fun about stained glass. Abstracts, that you can see different things. What might be one day is an element to something really important the next day. It's a new discovery all the time, finding new things. So, thanks for watching my videos, and I'm very grateful for the great compliments people have. And thank you again, and looking forward to doing more videos. In fact, panel 2A is next. Bye-bye.